Hello and welcome to the 100th episode of This Week in Linux. I thought I would do things a little bit differently today, just to sort of go back on the idea that I've done 100 videos up to this point. So I thought I'd start out with a couple of shoutouts, a couple of people that have helped me along the way, a couple of people that I just really enjoy the work that they've been doing, and I thought that you guys might like it as well. The first one I'd like to mention is, of course, Ubuntu Help Guy. He's got about 17 or 1800 subscribers at this point. He's done a load of great videos, lots and lots of great tutorials. He's introduced me to a lot of software that I never would have seen before without his help. So if you aren't already, go ahead and subscribe to his channel. The second person I'd like to mention is The Show That Sucks, and that's S-U-X for Sucks. He's actually been making videos for a little bit over a year now, and he's got about 400 subscribers. But he's really doing some innovative things, doing panel discussions with other YouTubers, and talking about PC, Mac, and Linux topics, not just focusing on one or the other. He's really worth watching. He's got so many great things to say, a lot of great opinions, a lot of great knowledge in that head of his. And the last person I would like to mention is Sneaky Linux. If you haven't seen his videos, go check him out. He does a load of distro reviews, and they're reviews of distributions that you probably never seen before. There are a lot of them that I've never even heard of, and he does it in such a thoughtful way. He really just walks through the menus for you. He's got a very calm, very soothing tone of voice, and it's just a pleasure to watch his videos. I've actually talked to him on many occasions, and he's just a really nice person to deal with, so check him out. I will have links to all three of these people in the doobly-doo, so check them out. The second thing I wanted to do today was kind of a retrospective. I've been doing this for about 7.5 months now, and I thought I'd go back to my very first video and show it to you again, and sort of critique it and see what I did right, what I did wrong, what I liked, what I didn't like, things like that. So here we go. Right, we've got the intro playing. Intro is okay. Not bad for my first try, I'll give it that much. Now that first cut there, the transition dissolved from the intro to the main video, that was very well done. The audio in the background, not so much. If you didn't notice, it went from intro audio to the same music again, but it didn't have a smooth cut. It should have been the same track all the way through. The other thing I noticed here, of course, and I did point this out in an annotation, is the green screen that I used. It actually had little strips of tape to hold it all together. Very humble beginnings here. I had no money to put into this. I had a very low budget camera. I had no microphone, no lighting. And so the green screen that I was using, actually let me go grab that and just show it to you. Alright, so the type of green screen I was using is basically this. I went to Walmart and I picked up a two-sided piece of poster board that was brightly green colored. Did it work? Yes. Could it have been better? Definitely. Since that time I really haven't done much as far as green screen, but I do have the blanket in there that I can use whenever I decide to. Anyway, let's move along with the video. This Week in Linux. On today's show we'll talk a little bit about the new version of Ubuntu that's coming out in April, the new version of WordPress that just released, the Xorg multi-touch support being added, and VLC Movie Creator. One thing I need to mention here, I really don't seem to be that into it. It seems like I'm really tired or really bored. And I don't think that was the case. I might have just been a little bit frustrated from having to try to find different lighting angles and things of that nature. In addition, I really should have had something prepared rather than just doing it off the cuff like I did. Doing it off the cuff led to a lot more cuts, a lot more not so seamless transitions. Of course I'm doing this off the cuff now, and the transitions will be a lot better just because I've got a lot more practice at doing it. Alright, and first things first. Ubuntu 10.04 is going to include a brand new Me menu up in the upper right hand corner. And there's another one of those jump cut fails there. Me menu is going to include a lot of social network icons. You can update your status information, your presence, if you're online or not, so on and so forth. Hopefully this version of Ubuntu will suck a little bit less than Ubuntu 9. And there I go bashing on Ubuntu. Yeah, I did have some problems with Ubuntu. A lot of people have. I really shouldn't have bashed on it, and that was my mistake. 10. Those of you watching this video most likely know what I'm talking about. I'm not certain if GNOME Shell is going to be included in Ubuntu 10.04 or not. I'll do some research and see if I can. That's the other thing I noticed. Even though I was really harsh about myself on the cuts and tried to cut everything as close as possible, I still said quite a few times, and there was a lot of downtime. Find that out. If you're not familiar with GNOME Shell, I'm going to include a link in the sidebar. One of the guys in the Linux group that I help run is actually a GNOME developer, and we talked at length about GNOME Shell. It's a neat looking product, but I don't know if I'm going to like it or not. Do you have any thoughts on it? Leave a comment below. WordPress 2. And that was just kind of cheesy there. Leave a comment below.
2.9 released this week. Included
Oh no, I know what's coming.
Plugin updater, video embedder, image editor, and a cashmere sweater.
Yes, the first of many bad jokes made on This Week in Linux. And of course, rather than just going with the flow and having the joke out there, I had to jump in there and throw in the hey, don't send me hate mail thing about it. Honestly, the amount of hate mail I've gotten doing this has been so minimal. It's really been surprising.
So you know that WordPress isn't including a cashmere sweater. Don't write me hate mail over that. Whatever. In other news, ENAC over in France has been working on Xorg multi-touch support. This is supremely cool. You need to check it out.
And again, note my enthusiasm there. This is supremely cool. You really need to check it out. Looking back, I should have had a cup of coffee or something before doing this first one. I should have been on some sort of an energy drink, something to really pep me up, because making your first video, you need to have that energy. And a lot of it just had to do with me not being as comfortable in front of the camera as I might be now. A lot of it had to do with me not being as familiar with the material as I probably should have been. I don't know, I'm giving myself a really hard time here, but I've had 7 months to get used to doing this, so it's really hard to look back on that. And this is a completely different person from who I am now. I mean, look at him, he doesn't even have a beard.
Link in the sidebar. For the uninitiated, multi-touches, of course, being able to grab the screen and stretch it.
Speaking of the sidebar off topic there, I'm really glad that I've adopted the word doobly-doo from WheezyWaiter. If you haven't seen WheezyWaiter, links in the doobly-doo. He actually coined the term doobly-doo quite a while back, and everybody has started using it since then, just because now you don't have to worry about saying sidebar or underbar or right, left, up, down bar. It's just doobly-doo.
Pinch it to zoom in, flip it, rotate it, etc., etc. Watch the video, I'll put it in the sidebar. It's really cool.
And then another corny joke where I talk about porn and boobies.
I'm going to be able to zoom in on boobies. And in some of the best news I've heard in a long time, the VLC project, the guys who created one.
You know, looking at this again, the lighting that I was using, I didn't really have any lighting as far as having the kind of lights that I use now. I was just using the overhead fluorescent lights, and this actually turned out pretty decently because of the place that I did the filming.
The best video players on the market now, they're coming out with their very own media editor, their very own movie creator that's multi-platform, should be easy to use. It looks a whole lot like Kdenlive, which is what I use to do all my video editing. I'll put a link in the sidebar, check it out. The project doesn't have a binary released yet, but from what I've read, it looks like they're going to have one soon. As a little bonus, the guys over at Tux Arena put together a list of the 3 best games to try out if you're new to Linux and new to Ubuntu. Those were Super Tux, World of Padman, and Battle for Wisnoth. If you are...
Yeah, after watching this back and seeing their top 3 games that they mentioned, wow, there really could have been a lot more mentioned there. Urban Terror alone is an amazing game. We play it on the twil gaming server all the time, and it's just a load of fun. It's about the closest to Counter-Strike as you can get without actually being it.
If you are new to Linux and you are a PC gamer, I would also suggest Sour Bratton, Nexuiz, any of those first-person shooters, because there are really some impressive ones for Linux. Oh, Alien Arena as well, because I've had some fun playing that. Well, that about wraps it up for this episode of This Week in Linux. Leave any questions you've got below, comments, suggestions. I'll be happy to address whatever. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in episode 2.
Alright, I think that's enough of that. Realistically, it was my first video on YouTube, especially under this channel. I'd done a couple of videos before, but never anything edited. That video took me over 4 hours just to edit it. It took me probably another 2 to 3 hours to get lighting set up how I liked it. It took me a while to get the green screen set up and going. I spent probably close to 10 hours getting that first video out and ready to go. Now, was that worth 10 hours worth of work? For starting the series that I have and starting this journey that I've made with you guys, yes, it was totally worth it. Now, would I do that now? I still do that on occasion. I don't necessarily do 10 hours worth of work on a video. Doing a distro review, I will spend days and days learning the distro, learning about the community, but I definitely don't spend that much time editing anymore. I probably edit for about 30 to 45 minutes now per video, and that's usually a 45-minute video on a Friday news video will take about 15 minutes worth of video, compress it down to 5, just cutting out retakes and cutting out the ums and the ahs and the pauses. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this look back at the first video that I ever put up on the This Week in Linux channel. Thank you for watching all 100 videos that I've put up. If you haven't already, you can start from the beginning and watch all the way up, see the progression of the beard as it grows and all that fun stuff. But thank you guys for watching. I look forward to doing another 100, another 1,000, another who knows how many before I guess get old and die, or until you guys stop watching. So thank you for watching. I will see you next time.